Children's GBC with George Buxton in this afternoon's slot. And here it is. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Children's GBC on a fine Tuesday afternoon. So here I am at George's house again. Yeah, that's after the success of doing the ones at my own house and 2 times at George's house. Well, now, I'm back again. So anyway, we have lots of programs coming your way this afternoon, but we're going to kick things off with something a bit scary. And as the moon would say, in a dark, dark night, there was a dark, dark town. In a dark, dark street, there lived in a dark, dark house, and it's funny bones. And in today's episode, there are some things that they all bumped into the night. So that's what the episode is today. Let's find out.
This is how the story begins. In a dark, dark town, there was a dark, dark street. In the dark, dark street, there was a dark, dark house. In the dark, dark house, there were dark, dark stairs. Down the dark, dark stairs, there was a dark, dark cellar. And in the dark, dark cellar, some skeletons lived. There was a big skeleton, a little skeleton, and a dog skeleton. Woof!
Funny bones. Well, mind you, because the funny bones do tend to bump into each other in the night. Yeah, because even though it was very dark, though. But I'm glad they're okay, though. Okay, now we're moving on to the serious matter of death. But of course, speaking of which, now before I begin to introduce Playdays, now there is some sad news regarding about the actress who is behind Hyacinth Bucket in Keeping Up Appearances. Because sadly, she passed away. So yeah, I thought this is what the death was sounding like. Because she was in the age of 96. Yeah, I mean, it is very understandable. Because, not many people know her. Because I think there was one time when Hyacinth Bucket was in one of those Mr. Blobby clips. In which we will show probably later on. At the end, of course. But not literally. But right now on Children's GBC, speaking of death, it's time for Playdays, and in today's stop, we're at the Poppy stop, in which she learns about death. But of course, Carl is going to tell her what death is in a gentle type of thing. You know what I mean. Let's find out what Carl has to say. Enjoy.
But where does it go? Where does it stop? What's inside of the lollipop? It's the Poppy stop. Good morning, Kizzy. I like it here. There's a
And that was Playdays. Well, I'm so glad that Poppy has learned about death. All thanks to Carl, who has told her very gently about. Because, you see, some creatures are meant to die only if they don't move as such. Not because of old age, and it's definitely not because of some people who are elderly. I'm not going to go into further details. If anyone gets upset so much, I do apologise. But anyways, now let's move on from a sad thing to a happier place in the woods. Now, this is where Okie Doke lives. So here we go with today's episode, in which today is called Okie Doke and the Hat Hunt.
you need a helping hand. Cross the dell and ring the bell, he'll understand. Don't worry, 'cause here comes Okie Doke. The friendliest of folk is Mr. Okie Doke. Okie doke, a helpful handy man. Don't worry, 'cause here comes Okie Doke. Get ready for good old Mr. Okie Doke.
And that was Okie Doke, and I'm so glad that Mrs. Frog has managed to get her hat back after all, with a little help from all the other creatures. Anyways, I'm not going to go into details as such. So, the next programme now, and before anyone else says anything, it is not about my armpits, so please stop doing that. Now, anyways, the only person who is hairy that I'm talking about is none other than Harry Jeremy, and I'm sure that he'll be nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's what today's episode is, because I think he's in a spot of cold situation around today. But will he find anything warm? Will he find anything to keep himself warm? Well, let's find out in Harry Jeremy, and not my armpits.
What do you say? He's not a superhero, nor a poet, or a king. He doesn't drive a car or do much of anything, but he's hairy.
Scary? No, hairy.
He has no superpowers, and I've never seen him fly. No secret hideaway, and no all-seeing eye. He's just hairy.
Hairy.
He's most definitely hairy.
Hairy.
His name is Jeremy, and he's hairy.
Hairy.
Unquestionably.
That was Harry Jeremy. Well, mind you, I'm so glad that he managed to get back into his cave after all. Yeah, because it was a bit cold out there. So, yeah, that's Harry Jeremy. So, coming up next on Children's GBC now, it's time to join Johnson and his friends, at this time, as they had looked under the bed. Was Johnson and Friends. Well, mind you, I'm so glad that that someone who lives under the bed was none other than Alfred the hot water bottle. Well, I didn't even know that. But anyways, moving on from Michael's bedroom and into France now, in which we get to see Albert the Fifth Musketeer, and in today's episode, the king was not very happy. Now, and the reason, I don't even know what the reason why the king was so unhappy. Well, you'll find out in today's episode, and it's called The King's Jester. Yeah, and I think both spaghetti hoops is. Who said that? Anyways, here's Albert the Fifth Musketeer.
With clever inventions, you know his intentions to help whenever he can. If you want something sorted like enemies thwarted, then Albert is your man. His name is Albert. He's Albert the Fifth Musketeer. He's there at the double whenever there's trouble with wood and string and stuff. The things that he makes have just what it takes whenever the going gets rough. His name is Albert. He's Albert the Fifth Musketeer. He's sharp, he's cool, he's nobody's fool. He's Albert the Fifth Musketeer. If you've been dropped in it, he's there in a minute. That's faithful Albert's way. He's got no pretensions, just lots of inventions that always save the day. Hooray! And just what it takes whenever the going gets rough. His name is Albert. He's Albert the Fifth Musketeer. He's sharp, he's cool, he's nobody's fool. He's Albert the Fifth Musketeer.
And that was Albert the Fifth Musketeer. Yeah, mind you, Albert the Musketeer, I'm so glad that he always tries to solve everyone's solutions, even when he was only a musketeer. And I think that the king, however, is now very happy. Yeah, I don't know why. But anyways, moving on from Albert the Fifth Musketeer from France and moving on to the other side of Britain to see King Rollo. And in today's episode, as King Rollo looks after a certain dog. But I don't know whose dog it is. But let's find out. King Rollo. Well, mind you, I'm so glad that King Rollo has managed to look after a dog very well. So yeah, that's pretty good. So moving on to the next one now. So it's time for today's episode of Sooty and Co. And today, I think the Sooty and the gang are up to their usual tricks in which they were trying to sell some self-exploding joke buns. Well, and I wonder if they're not really going to explode the shop. But I mean, that would be a bit wrong. But anyways, here's Sooty and Co.
Hey ho, it's Sooty and Co. Everybody say hello. There's Sooty and Sweep, a panda called Sue, and little cousin Scampy too. There'll be fun galore with the terrible four. Just you wait and see. What's that? Smell that? Is it off?
Was Sooty and Co. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that that the exploding joke buns are gone now. Yeah, but I don't think they'll be selling buns ever again, especially the joke ones. So, anyways, now moving on from Sooty the Puppet Bear and moving on to a Puppet Badger. Now, because we're still in Series 2 at the moment, in which Bodger and Badger will be seeing a certain bear mayor. Because otherwise known as a teddy bear mayor. Snarl, 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 snarl. Waffle, 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 waffle. Anyways, here's Bodger and Badger, Series 2.
Come on, you flipping phone, ring.
Badger, his badger mate is never far away. Bodger and Badger, Bodger and Badger. La 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 la, Badger's never far away. Everybody knows Badger loves mashed potato. Makes them into shapes and eats them every day. Bodger and Badger, Bodger and Badger. La 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 la. Everywhere he goes, Bodger always knows.
Bodger and Badger. Yeah, mind you, well, I'm so glad that the mayor did come to Let's Be Avenue Junior School as such. Yeah, well, despite the fact a few antics that Badger always gets up to, and sometimes Mrs. Trout was not very happy with Simon Bodger's mishaps along the way. But that's Bodger and Badger. And now moving on to the last programme now. And I know that some of you were wondering, what am I going to be broadcasting next? Well, it's not going to be Chuckle Vision this time, because normally I do Chuckle Vision, only if Strawberry does that, of course. Well, I think this time, just for a change, I'm going to present one episode of Tugs. And today's episode, for where the tugboats are being quarantined. And I'm not referring to COVID-19. Yeah, because I know it's kind of a bit similar to that, because that's where everyone had to stay at home and to protect the NHS and save lives. But obviously, they should be protecting themselves, protecting the National Hospital Boat Service, I'll just say. And then they'll save lives. So anyways, here's today's episode of Tugs.
The tugboat, for its size, is the most powerful craft afloat. And the Star Tugs are the power behind the docks and waterways that make up the big city port. This is Tugs. As for Zoran, he saw out his full term.
And there'll be another episode of Tugs, which is only happening on a Friday afternoon with George Buxton. But I'm sure that I will be concluding the programme this time. Carry on listening to the music. And that was Tugs. Well, I'm so glad that the tugboats are okay though, especially with Sunshine, Warrior, and 10 cents. Yeah, because mind you, I may have heard of 10 cents, and I thought it was called $10. Snarl, snars, waffle, waffle. Children's GBC, we bring you cordial gags up to date. So anyways, that's Tugs for you. And that's pretty much about it for this afternoon on Children's GBC. But don't worry, I will be back again on Friday morning. But not just Friday morning, by the way. Now, because tomorrow is my birthday. And would you believe, because I'm going to be 31 this month. Yeah, it's because obviously tomorrow is going to be a very special one. Because, of course, the first part, however, where George Buxton will be doing the first 5 programmes just to celebrate my birthday. And I might be doing the second half of it, because that's where I will do some 5 more programmes. And that's it for everybody. So I'll see you again really soon. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. You're watching GTV. And now it's time to head over to Summer Bay now in Home and Away. And I'm pretty sure that Bought a Body would love Home and Away as much as Alice did. But anyways, here's Home and Away.